Good morning, Cardano family. It's your boy Boomin coming at you with yet another video. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, that like button, and that notification bell so you never miss a Boomin update. With these updates daily, you don't want to miss them. Got my hot tea and honey locked and loaded, ready to go. Let's get this show started. Thank you to everybody leaving comments down below. I really appreciate it. Let's keep that going. Another day, another week, another development report. Let's take a look. Ongoing work on core technology improvements. Lace Explorer's beta program launching soon. Babbage support implemented in Plutus tools. Mithril's first distribution release. That's pretty cool. And Fund 9 voter rewards distributed. 104 projects launched on Cardano. 6.7 million tokens. 3,000 Plutus scripts. 1,139 projects building on Cardano. 64K token policies and 54.1 million total transactions. All right, guys. So IOHK engineer teams are driving forward with the open source approach to sharing Cardano updates and are defining libraries that will be shared with the community. This is an ongoing process, but more teams are collaborating to share their weekly development progress. All right, Wallets and Services Lace team continue to work on desktop development. They implemented a feature flag system that enables and disables features in the Lace desktop application and worked on the proof of concept to connect applications with dApps. The team also fixed some hardware wallet issues, created 2 new end-to-end tests. 500 Lace Explorers have been selected and invited to join the first stage of the Explorers beta program. You can still register at lace.io for a chance to be selected in future stages of this testing program. The Adestra team focused on getting Cardano JS SDK production ready. They also worked on post-Vassal improvements, including the release of the maintenance for the update of the Cardano GraphQL 7.02 and the preparation of a release of the Cardano Rosetta with some fixes and performance improvements. They also working on implementing the multi-sig feature and first implementation of a build balance library. Smart Contracts team continue to work on SECP implementation on the main exploratory parts of the process increment. They finalized Babbage support for implementation, continue implementing the stake pool delegation indexer for Macaroni, and added more integration tests to the transaction builder library. Marlowe team created a tutorial for Marlowe Run, command, and move Marlowe test to a new package. They ran a contract during deposit, choice, and notify features, fixed the payout reminder for coin selection, and tested the transaction creation with 2 mini UTXOs. Finally, they defined an initial list of features for runtime APIs, added JSON serialization to reference Haskell implementation, and optimized chain sync queries for creating mainnet transactions. The Basho team redeployed the latest Hydra scripts to respin the preview testnet. They also completed the implementation of ADR18 and worked on validators whose development was impacted by CI flakiness. Finally, the team discussed hard forks and the protocol parameter updates and aligned the Hydra Head v1 specification with feedback from auditors. The Mithril team released its first distribution. Following the activation of alpha version of the release process, they continued refining its implementation and added a new set of artifacts to the distributions, such as Debian packages, macOS, Windows binaries. The team also enhanced the Mithril Explorer, which now provides more detailed information about epoch settings and easier to access multiple aggregators for the users. Finally, they started writing a CIP that will allow higher decentralization of Mithril by using the Cardano node network layer. The Project Catalyst team continues the cool down phase where we plan on looking ahead to Fund 10. In this week, the fund rewards have been distributed. It was completed via Move Instantaneous Rewards, which means the voter rewards will arrive in a similar way as staking rewards in a few days. These should become spendable in the next epoch boundary. You can learn how to check this using the example article. So pretty cool, guys. Nice little update there. We will continue to do this each and every week. Let's go ahead and move on. All right, guys. So this is pretty cool. We got some audio here from Charles Hoskinson, from the space that he was in. We're not gonna play all the audio because we'll be here like for hours, obviously. But let's see what he has to say a little bit about FTX and what's going on here. Thank you to Sham. Really, really appreciate that. Let me go ahead and retweet this so he can get the credit for chopping up these spaces here. Let's take a look. We're just gonna do these three audio clips here. This is Charles Hoskinson speaking. And when he speaks, we listen. So let's go ahead and take a look. Listen.
Yeah, I was actually just about to work out. It's like 5, almost 6 a.m. here, and I just got up for the morning workout. And I got this tweet, and I said, "Oh, well, if Kim is hosting a space with Mario, I have to drop on in." There are tribes in the institutional side of the cryptocurrency space, and so you have like the galaxies, and you have the Barry's Grayscale, and then you have the really big guys like BlackRock and J.P. Morgan Chase and Goldman Sachs. So FTX was definitely a clique, and in those circles you have like the Three Arrows Capital and Voyager, and there were obviously everything Alameda touched. So Solana, there was an investment in Polygon. Yeah, I think even Masari got an investment. There's over 130 companies that the tentacles of FTX touched in probably about $50 billion of value in that entire circle. And it looked like it's a good old-fashioned Ponzi scheme where, basically they cooked the books. They appeared to be a lot richer than they actually were. They amplified that by a flurry of acquisitions and trying to be the crypto strongman during a bear market, alongside a lot of paid sponsorships, like the relationship with Tom Brady and Giselle, putting their name on arenas and these types of things. But at the end of the day, they owed a lot more and were leveraged a lot more than liquidity that they had on hand. And I guess Sam was playing a game of, well, as long as nobody pushes us too hard, when the bull market comes back, all these illiquid assets will become liquid. They'll get a 10x or 20x. I can sell them. I can make everything right, and then I'm going to walk away with like $30 billion. I mean, that's literally what Bernie Madoff, had at the back of his mind, and the 2008 financial crisis basically pushed it to a point where he could no longer hide the shell game that he was doing, and he was basically forced to fess up and admit it. So, from a financial crime viewpoint, this is nothing new. We've been down this road many times before, and traditionally it happens in Wall Street. It's kind of funny. Everybody says, "Oh God, we now need to regulate crypto." Yeah, this is definitely a problem with all those layer ones. Let's make everything a security, and that'll solve it. It's like, well, guys, the vast majority of the institutions that were impacted in some way were regulated actors, or in some way had some sort of direct relationship with the government. In fact, what's most troubling about FTX is that it looks like FTX was in regular communications with the CFTC, perhaps with the SEC, and others, and they were talking to them, and that they were lobbying them, and they were talking to lawmakers every day. If you look at the financials that are starting to leak of FTX, they were giving tens of millions of dollars to politicians, mostly Democrats, and they were presenting themselves as the regulated good actor. In fact, Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank, he said, "Oh yeah, one of the reasons why I invested in FTX and have a relationship with them is Sam gets compliance. His parents are compliance lawyers, and if anybody's never going to have a compliance problem, it's going to be them." Meanwhile, it's a bunch of 30-some-year-olds and 20-year-olds living in Bahamas having big orgy parties, and it's like absolutely no oversight and structure. So it's just a messed up situation because crypto is finally starting to clear Luna and the whole Three Arrows Capital and this other debacle, and we were starting to look forward to like a cautiously optimistic bull market next year. And this event probably is going to take 3 to 6 months to clear. And unfortunately, the politics are that it could actually be the straw that breaks the camel's back for a law to pass. And instead of that being a decent law, like the Digital Commodities Exchange Act, it potentially could be much, much worse. some of you guys know I spoke before Congress in June at the House Ag Committee, and we've engaged with dozens of senators and congressmen. I've met the chairman of the CFTC and other people. So I've been pretty heavily involved for the last 7 months with Washington, D.C., and we were starting to get the conversation to a point where a compromise could be brokered that mostly would leave the industry alone and let the people who are actually building continue building unhindered, and then the people who are doing regulated activities like asset-backed stablecoins and holding customer funds and being in a position of trust, they'd have to fall into a more traditional regulatory structure. And I thought that was a fair compromise. I'm just a little concerned now that the consequence of this fallout is going to be that they throw the baby out with the bathwater, and they go after things like non-custodial wallets. They get much more draconian on the travel rule. There's going to be a larger breakdown on DAOs and DeFi. For example, the CFTC did hit a DAO recently and said all the members of the DAO are members of an unincorporated association and they have no corporate veil or indemnity to protect them. I think more of that is likely going to happen here, especially as the scam gets unraveled. I mean, this guy had probably a backdoor in his systems to pull money out, and trade with it. There was probably improper use of customer deposits. There was probably a lot of fraudulent accounting. And you only discover that months after the event because forensic accountants have to come in and start reconstructing the books, and people get very uncooperative and lawyer up. And it's like almost like forensic archaeology. You have to discover what the civilization was, and it gets dark, just like Celsius or any of these things. It gets darker and darker the deeper you get down the rabbit hole.
There you go, from the horse's mouth. I agree with what he said. I've retweeted this guy, so you can listen to the entire space. He has it all here. And yeah, thank you so much to Sham. Really appreciate it. Let's go ahead and wrap things up, guys. Shout out to OneCom, ticker symbol 1COMM. You know the drill. Follow OneCom on Twitter for news and notes, and also delegate your Cardano to them. 0% fees until at least the end of June 2023 for all existing and new delegators. Let's keep chopping wood, guys. Love you guys. I'll be here tomorrow to give you that crypto news. Leave some comments down below, and we will make it. Let's keep chopping. Talk to you soon. Bye. Thank you for tuning in and watching daily Vechain and Cardano videos on Satoshi Boomin channel. I want to say a wonderful shout out to our wonderful Patreons here: Maryland for Crypto, Anthony Andrews, Faruz Den, Kyle Bachi, CryptoSVT.si, Angeltopia, DNC Vale, Leon Jackson II, Kragan, Allflare LLC, Lucky Sunshine Token, and Catherine Braun. Guys, let's keep chopping wood. Don't let your means be dreams, and thank you so much for your wonderful Patreon support.